You're listening to RadioActive on 91.3 FM CJTR. With me right now, I'm excited to be joined by Lilith Czar. How are you doing, Lilith?
I'm wonderful, Victoria. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So, about a month ago, you released a brand new album called Created from Filth and Dust. How was it? How did you come up with this record and just the new persona of what you did with Lilith Czar?
Well, it was, it was, something that happened over time. I think that the last couple of years, there's been this brewing evolution it was almost like I didn't realize it until 2020 because I had the time to sit with my thoughts and really feel my feelings. And I just feel like the last couple of years, I've evolved as an artist and a musician and just as a person, both mentally and spiritually. And I've always subscribed to putting my real life into my art, whether that's with lyrics and songs or music videos. Like everything is really real. It's little glimpses of my life and little stories of my life. And last year I took a look at half of the record was done, and I took a look at where I was in my career, who I was as an artist, and I decided I just felt like I wanted something so much bigger and something so much more. Not that, Juliet wasn't enough, but I just wanted to be able to convey kind of my growth and I wanted to put it into my art. And so Lilith, I don't know if you're familiar with her story, but I've always been really connected with the story of Lilith. There's many different iterations of her story, but the main one being her being the first woman and being cast out of Eden because she wouldn't submit to Adam, even though she was made from the same filth, dirt, everything. She felt she was his equal. And when she wouldn't submit, she was sent to hell. And obviously, I mean, as a woman, I'm sure you feel that just doesn't sit right. I mean, yeah. I think any sex, gender, whatever can understand or have empathy towards that feeling of oppression or subjugation or feeling like you're not equal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just felt like that was something that I experienced just a fuck ton in my life. And so that was something I connected with. And so that's where the name Lilith comes from. And the name, Czar, the derivation of that would be, is the fact that she was also born a king. And, it just worked because of my song, my single coming out of this album was called King. And it just kind of felt like it was so poetically right for the name. And the album itself, it was born out of feeling like I had nothing left. I started this record 2.5-3 years ago, and it was at a time, at a pivotal time in my life where I just didn't know where I was meant to be, where I was meant to go. And I just knew that if I put that, and the pain, the agony, the feeling like I've, maybe I've fucked everything up, maybe I've burnt it all to ashes. If I can take that seed and plant it into a song, maybe something can grow, and it did. It grew into this album. And so, yeah, I feel like this album, the writing process and the recording of this album, really kind of changed me. And that's kind of how all of this came. By the way, you say 13, 20 minutes. I take 13, 20 minutes to answer one fucking question.
That's
So,
that's all right.
yeah.
And when making this album, was it cool to see that your whole idea that you had around this album and your new persona come to life?
Say that again?
When you were creating this album and just creating the new persona, was it cool to see just your idea come to life?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always looked up to bigger than life rock stars and artists my whole life, whether that's like, you know, David Bowie, Elton John, Stevie Nicks, you know, Elvis Presley, Whitney Houston, just like bigger than life um artists that felt like kind of superhero, like superheroes to me and to millions. It, being able to like kind of just kind of tap a little toe in that direction and come up with these ideas and this plan and these visuals and the story and the world and to build it and to have the time too, like I took like 12 weeks off of social media, which was like the greatest vacation of my life. Not that I don't like social media, I love social media, but it like really gave me the time to just, I don't know, just be an artist, just plan and write and put looks together and put the story together and the treatment and write all the poems for everything and like really look at this landscape that I had in my mind and like put it into the physical like world and to see it start to unfold. It was everything I grew up watching. It just felt like I was finally getting to be the artist that I was meant to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
It was
and did
awesome.
this album come out 100% like you imagined it?
I think it's a good question. I think because COVID happened, it changed things. I believe that things are meant the way they're supposed to happen. I absolutely love this record. I'm so proud of it and so fucking happy with it. I think it's just part of my like genetic makeup and personality to scrutinize over every minute detail. Like
Right.
I am crazy. I'll be the first one to admit that I have option paralysis. And like when it comes to anything involving my voice, me, I I'll be like, but what if? But what if? But what if we had done that? And
Yeah.
like I will drive myself fucking insane. And like thankfully my family and my husband and my friends will like bring me back down to earth and they're like, no, it's fucking awesome. Stop it. Like I just do that with every fucking thing. Like literally I can't even online shop. I'll be like, that's cute, but that's cute. But I also like that. Which one do I want? And then hours will go by and I won't have bought any of them. So when, with this album, of course I go, oh man, I really wish I would have added like one more like bluesy song, or oh, I wish I would have sang that line different. But at the time, we loved it. But this is just me being insane. So I don't think that the album should change. But ask me again in 10 minutes and I'll have a different answer for you.
Right. And I feel like this whole album, front to back, is just fantastic. Like, I can't even pick a favorite song off of it, but do you have a favorite that you recorded?
Like right there, that's why I need to stop. I torture myself. That's all I need. That's all I want. Is exactly what you just said. Favorite song. Um, I really love Anarchy so much. Anarchy and obviously King because of the message. I
Right.
think I think King's message is probably like the most, I don't know, important message on the record. That and Anarchy. But like Anarchy to me, I don't know, not to say that this is on par with this band at all, because this band is the this band is the our generation's Guns N' Roses, our generation's the Beatles. Sorry, my cat is trying to get in the door. Anyways, My Chemical Romance is like one of my favorite bands of all time. Just absolutely, ugh, like what doesn't come that kind of band will come around again for another 100 years.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have always that's Anarchy is certainly inspired by My Chemical Romance, and I don't know. I feel like there's like a feeling you get when you listen to like that band, and there's like a couple points in Anarchy where I'm listening and I'm like, ooh, I think we did it right there. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, that, I don't know. That's like my ode to them. And then I really like Diamonds to Dust just because I love stripped down music. I love raw vocals. That's, that vocal's one take. I love, bluesy, soulful, classic rock type music. And so that was kind of the inspiration for that song. And I don't know, that song's kind of like, when I wrote that song, that was the moment that I realized that the word dust had something to do with the album title. Because before I named it Created from Filth and Dust, I was thinking Dust as the album title. And just because I felt like that was like, the dust was like kind of where everything, like kind of like the Phoenix.
Right.
So like, yeah. And so, I just have a strong connection with that song.
Mm-hmm. And
that's my answer.
Yeah. and when you released this album, was it weird to release it during the pandemic, being that you couldn't really go out right away and tour with it?
Yeah, it was it's awful. It's terrible. I'm like, it came out and I was like, cool, posting, and like 2 weeks went by and I was like,
just done with it.
Now what? Now what do we do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but like what's great is that I'm now in a lane, in a genre of music where the fans are not just there for 5 minutes. They're there for their life. And I feel like I have this I'm like trying to word this properly so I don't sound like a total asshole. Well, like I was with major labels for a long time, right? And major labels are really pop oriented. And the pop world is different.
Yeah.
It's different.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like not just the music, but like also the loyalty and the quickness of it. It's very fast foody, if you will. And that was never the lane that I wanted to be in ever. I've always wanted to be just in rock music. And that's what's fucking awesome about this scene, is that it is, it's die hard, it's ride or die, it's like blood, sweat, and tears. It's so passionate. I mean, it is you could there's rock bands I started listening to when I was 10 years old that I'm still fucking listening to. I'm still going to concerts too. And like, that's the kind of fan base that I want to cultivate. And I know that even though we've released this album during the pandemic, and I can't say anything yet, but when I go on a tour that I'm going on tour with, like it's fine. It's not going to be, I don't think COVID will affect, anything. Fuck COVID. Next question.
Yeah, totally agree there. And on May 29th, you'll be doing a virtual meet and greet. Just how excited are you to be doing this, being that you can't be out meeting fans in person?
It's going to be really fun. I'm really excited about it. I think that it's really cool that I get like one-on-one time, because like at shows and stuff, it's like it's noisy and it's loud and there's like people waiting in line. And I feel like this is like very intimate,
Yeah.
you know, they're coming into my home. It's just me and them talking, one person talk, or if their family's there, fine. But you know, I just feel like it's really a cool, really personal way to connect with the fans and the supporters and all of that. So I'm excited about it. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. And what's your favorite
Yeah.
part about interacting with fans and meeting them?
My favorite part, honestly, how excited. I mean, not to, this sounds. That sounds like I'm such an asshole, but like how excited they are and how you know, like I'm not gonna lie. Like it is nice to have that, like, to be reaffirmed that you're doing the right thing. This is the selfish answer. Like to feel like what I'm creating and what I'm putting out and giving to people is like connecting and it's helping them, or you know, they made out with somebody to my songs over time, or they met at a show or whatever. Like hearing these stories and how the music that I'm creating is affecting them, like that's why we do it. You know, yeah, sure, I do it because I love being on stage and I love singing and I love performing, but I ultimately, at the end of the day, it's like I feel like it's a duty at this point. Like this is what I'm supposed to do so that others can have something, whatever
Right.
that may be.
Yeah. And aside from you doing music and releasing this new album, you also acted in the Paradise City TV show. What was your experience on this set?
It was awesome and frightening. I mean, I've done like acting growing up, like in school and stuff. I was in plays, and then my sister's an actress, so like just by like proxy, is that the right word? I don't know, whatever. Anyways, she, like, I've kind of picked up tips and stuff from her, and she also like gave me a lot of pointers. Thank you, Angie. And then, like, you know, like music videos and all of that, you're acting, you're performing. It's just another way of performing. And so because I had, you know, because I am a performer, I wasn't going into it so green, but still, like, I showed up to set and I was like, I'm gonna barf. But it was, you know, my first scene that I ever shot for the show was with Kimmy and Emily from Starbenders. It was our first time meeting, and all three of us fell in love like that. I am obsessed with those girls. They're such amazing musicians and just really rad chicks. Anyway, so that was like really nice to have them on set. And then my scene was with Ash Alvison, who's the, you know, director, producer of Paradise City. He's also the president of Sumerian Records. And so it was like having a scene with you know, a familiar face and a person I know, that made it a lot easier. And it was, I don't know, man, it was just really fun. I remember leaving that night and feeling like I could do this again. I would do it again. Yeah.
Yeah. And overall, how did you like the final product of the show?
I loved it. Oh my God. We binged it in one night. Yeah, as soon as we got the episodes, we just shut our phones off and we watched start to finish, and we loved it. Absolutely fucking awesome. So good.
Yeah. It was pretty good. I think I watched it in like 2 days, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you like it?
Yeah, I really liked it, actually.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's
yeah, like for the amount of like it just being like a small kind of production thing, not a big movie production, I think it was like Ash did a really good job directing and writing.
Yeah, man. He did a fucking awesome job. I mean, that all came from his mind, and yeah, he put it together. He did everything himself. I think he fucking killed it.
Yeah.
There's a few scenes I could have lived without watching, but you know. It's acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are the rest of your plans for 2021? Kind of what do you have planned for the rest of this year?
So right now we are planning a few things. One is, of course, a live stream. So that's being planned, and I've already started rehearsing with my band, shooting some more videos. There is, I don't know if I could say this yet. Well, there's some stuff that I'm doing in the coming weeks that will be coming out on certain big platforms. Vague. And I do have a tour later this year. I just can't say who it's with.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what else you got coming out this coming up year as well.
Thank you. I look forward to being able to release everything and announce everything so that everybody can have it.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show today.
Victoria, thank you so much. You were so wonderful to talk to, and I'm so happy I was your first female.